All I heard was eh. Eh. Eh.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What? Il Duce. Hi, John.
Hi.
You ready?
Oh, give me 1 sec. I left my drink upstairs. I gotta go get it.
Oh, fuck. Hello, mein Freunds. You should keep stopping the spread of Germans and wash your hands. You're listening to Time to Lean, and here's the song, episode 37. And I don't know, I'm not really German. I'm just kind of hanging out, man. Fuck you damn. The 3 words can't say on the radio. Fuck you damn on the podcast. I was, a long time ago, I was trying to work on a George Carlin impersonation. That wasn't I had it better. I had it down better than that at one point, but fuck you damn. No, never mind. I don't have it today. I ain't got it. The radio signal you're listening to is disturbed. You might want to adjust your dial or maybe kind of rub your rabbit ears. I'll make music in my water bottle.
What are you doing?
I'm social distancing from myself. I can't touch myself anymore.
Can't touch this.
No. Yeah, I suppose they should do a PSA with that, without touching your face. I've finally gotten better about not touching my face, but it probably was too late by the time I figured it out.
You don't realize how much you do it.
Until somebody says you can't.
Right. Like so many things in life.
Are you drinking?
Yeah, I have not taken a sip yet, but I have my beverage at hand.
Well, we could just start right with that if you want, or we could do something else.
Yeah. Let's do it. I don't know what else we're going to talk about. So
we'll just keep getting different drinks and talking about what we're drinking.
That'll show them.
No, if I didn't have to telecommute tomorrow, I would.
Aw. Sad.
Well, what you want to go first? You go first.
Yeah, okay. I am drinking a single malt scotch, shocker. It's called Deanston.
Ooh.
It's a Deanston 12-year-old.
Howard Dean family.
It should be. He goes, "Ah!" Whatever that was. Some of you might remember that.
We're going to kill everyone
South Dakota, North Dakota.
Oh.
Getting too excited about South Dakota killed his campaign.
Well, it was rather suspicious.
There's something to it.
I thought the thing that really tipped him over was Iowa, but I could be wrong.
Oh, maybe. I want to believe that the spirit of South Dakota did him in.
That's not nice. That's sad. Yeah, when has South Dakota brought down a presidential candidate in a while?
McGovern? No.
Not since Teddy Roosevelt's Bull Party or whatever. Bull Moose Party. No, I'm not a historian. I just made that up. So it's a 12-year.
Yep, 12-year single malt scotch. It claims it's unchill filter, which I like, and has no coloring, so it's a nice pale. Yeah, it's a let's see, I had to cheat and look it up because I don't have the bottle in front of me.
Front of lobotomy.
It is a Highland region.
Oh, I was going to say, what region?
Yep, it has a nice. It's one of those malts that I've tried it a few times. It's very it's on the subtle side, so it doesn't have that super sweet kind of fruity nose that some of the lowland ones have, for example, or the Space Ciders. But it also doesn't have a big smoke character to it.
All right,
as well. It's kind of in the middle. Has some very subtle, spicy notes to it, and it takes me a while to get into it.
Huh.
But it's more challenging to pick out the flavors and the notes in it.
Yeah. Well, what are some? You're still trying to pick them out.
I feel like it's got a little bit more oaky character to it.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of that bourbon-esque vanilla taste, which probably comes from the bourbon barrels they age it in. I want to say it's got some spices like clove or something like that going on after you've had a couple sips.
Oh. And after you've had a couple of bottles, who cares?
Yeah.
Clonk.
Yeah, it's nice. I don't know if I would buy it a lot, but it's a little different than the ones I usually go for the really sweet ones or the very smoky ones.
Yeah, this one sounds kind of a weird, not middle ground necessarily, because it's not very smoky, but
No, it's not
interesting
smoky at all. Yeah, I like it. I'm kind of glad I tried it. It's one that I picked up for a tasting that I hosted a while back, and it was a good contrast to some of the other ones that we.
I bet.
had.
I bet. Yes, I missed that.
Yeah.
Sad.
We'll do another one someday. It'll probably be over Skype or Zoom or something.
Well, maybe. I actually did I started a little happy half hour every Friday for the folks at work. You can join too if you want, and I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I think I have a funny feeling every week we'll get more attendance, but
I'll bet. What do you have on hand?
Well, I hopped down to no, I didn't hop, but I drove over to Bad Weather Brewing Company in St. Paul. And, of course, they're not, the bar part's not open, but I bought a few of their, crowlers. They used to have growlers, but now they're just really big freaking cans. But I got a Dunkelsbach, and if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I apologize.
It might be Dunkelsbach. I don't know. I've been too many beveraged.
It's a pale lager.
That means drunk, dumb person in German.
Oh, great.
No, I'm kidding.
I'll have 3 more.
It just means dark, you silly boy. You should have a spanking.
Well, I know that the ABV is 5.5, and for our listeners that don't know what that means, that's the alcohol blood for vampires content. Because vampires, they don't, some of them are on the wagon, and they need to know how much alcohol you have before they drink your blood. So we got that, but I don't know. Bach, get back to the USSR. I don't know what a Dunkelsbach is, but it's okay. So it's it's got quite a bit of malt, I'm guessing. It's dark. It says pale lager, but it's pretty dark.
Is it hoppy?
No, I'm sure it's got hops in. Yeah, it's got some hops. It's got a good balance, but I like the amber ales, and this is a little bit darker than that, in my opinion. So there you go.
So you hopped down there and you did not get any hoppy lager?
I did. Well, like I've said before, I've been shying away from the hoppy ones, but I did get. They have a pale ale, American pale ale. I think that's called Comet Shower or something like that. I got one of those. Well, you get a 3-pack and you save $2.
I want my $2.
and I tipped, even though they just rang me in. I just feel bad that. I mean, at some point we won't be able to walk in, and I guess if this continues, we won't be able to walk in and get takeout.
Yeah, I did take out a couple of times recently, and I did leave tips, and I normally don't for when I get takeout because, well, you shouldn't. But
no,
these are difficult times.
I don't know. I guess I generally tip on takeout. Do I? Yeah, I think I do. I don't know. Who cares? Everybody tip now, though. Jeez. We're at the tipping point.
Yeah, so let's see. I stopped at Costco on the way home.
Did they have any toilet paper?
No. They conveniently put a large sign at the entrance telling you what kinds of things they're out of and not out of.
Well, they might. I was thinking Target should probably do that too, because darn well people are milling around to see if they have the things, and they shouldn't go in there if they don't need to. So,
but they did have paper towels, which was great because that's the thing I'm actually about out of.
Yeah, I'm getting low on toilet paper, but I got plenty of Kleenex.
I hear out in Rapid City, toilet paper is a lot harder to come by. Well, they're at the end of the distribution chain.
I haven't seen any here. My brother works at Target, and he says that they put some out overnight, and then in the morning it's gone in about a half hour.
That's what the Costco people say. They get it in, and you have to get there in the first hour or so to get it in.
He says there are people running in. I'm guessing they need it. So I haven't gotten quite to that point, but
That's true. I guess I could steal some from work if I really had to.
well,
Yeah.
you have to get one of those keys though. The ones that where I work, they're locked on the tubes
Oh,
or whatever.
I can just get in the custodial closets.
Well, maybe we should edit this out.
Oh wait, I'll edit this part out. Yeah.
It's like you and Bruce roaming around Wilson.
Oh, that seems so quaint now with everything else that's going on.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but this is a nice. I'm gonna say toasted. I don't know what I'm talking about, but it's got kind of a toasty flavor. I'll say biscuit even maybe. I don't know. No, that's sweeter. I like it. I should have written down what they said.
Biscuits and gravy lager.
Oh, well, there's one company that has a salted nut roll beer.
Actually, that doesn't sound terrible.
I would try it, but I don't want to buy like a whole bunch.
Yeah, I would maybe try it on a flight though.
No, yeah. Okay, that would make sense. But
I would do that.
Can't have those for a while.
Yeah, I actually went to Costco. I'm trying not to go there unnecessarily, just like everybody else. But I had it in my head I was going to go buy a PlayStation 4
Oh,
because I had never bought one before, mainly because I figured, rightly so, that I had no time to play it.
yeah. Well, you're too busy doing gigs and stuff.
Yeah, I have plenty to do. I think I was right not to buy one then, but now I've got all these evenings free, and don't want to drive my lovely wife crazy. So I thought, oh well, this would be a great time to dive into some of those video games that I've been wanting to play, and of course they're out of them. I don't know who keeps buying. It's like they put them on sale at Thanksgiving, Christmas time. And they all sold out then, too. And this console has been out for years now.
Strange.
In fact, the PlayStation 5 is coming out. Well, it was going to come out this year. I don't know if it still will. But
Yeah.
so many people must already have these, and I don't know who keeps buying them.
Huh.
It's just a little bewildering.
Can you get them cheaper at Costco and sell them a little bit more expensive somewhere else?
It's like it's the regular price, but they throw in a free controller or something like that.
Oh, well, how about that?
So it's a little better, but it's not like a huge savings. Not enough that it'd be worth reselling them.
Well, you got Civ 6, though.
I took it as a sign that, well, maybe I just don't need one of these. So
Yeah.
I think I will, if I see it next time I'm there, I'll probably pick it up. But otherwise, I'm not gonna stress it out.
Well, hopefully you'll get some more gigs soon.
Someday, if we ever can have them again.
No, at some point. But I've heard different estimates on how long this will take.
And so, yeah, you mentioned Civ. It stands for Civilization, a video game that we're familiar with. It goes back many, many years. Some of us have played it
Way too many
a
hours.
lot. My brother Rob used to claim that playing Civilization was the best way to deal with a potential hangover. Instead, so the idea is that you've gotten sloshed and you don't want to go to sleep
Oh.
because you don't want to do that right away because it'll make your hangover worse. I think the idea is that you sober up before you pass out.
Just stay up.
And so he would start a game of Civilization on his Mac and just play that until he finally was sober, and then he'd go to sleep. It's not the worst idea, I have to say.
I don't know. I lost a lot of hours of sleep playing that
game. If you put
game.
it in easy mode, you could build your little cities and move your guys around and stuff.
Sure, it's mindless. You can
Yeah,
do that.
It is
Taint.
one of the biggest time wasters ever invented.
Yeah, I wonder what the last version of that I got was. I don't know, 4 probably. I don't know, but they were one of the more expensive games, so I don't think I've gotten the latest one from this Mac, but
I have 6, although I have this. I played it maybe once
Yeah.
since I bought it, and I keep going back to Civilization 5 because because I'm more familiar with how it works.
Yeah,
and,
they keep adding things.
Yeah, and 6 seems more complex, and playing 5 is just easier, so I just go back to that. And I think you can buy Civ 5 for $5 or something like that now.
Oh, maybe I'll do that instead.
That's the advantage of waiting on video games is that you hit that point where nobody wants to play them anymore. They get really cheap.
Well, I did get Civ 6 for my iPad, and I've never won it. I played it.
Oh, even on
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Chieftain mode or whatever.
There's a lot more options and things like that, and I don't know. I kind of gave up on it.
I played Civ 6 a couple of times, but it's complicated. Now I don't know if I could imagine doing it on an iPad-sized screen.
Well, it's like a lighter version, I'm guessing.
That could be, yeah. Fortunately, we have a big 32-inch monitor for the downstairs computer, and Civ 5 is really fun on a giant screen.
Well, maybe I'll look into that.
And then other nice thing is it'll run on the older machines easily because it's probably 10-year-old game by now, maybe.
No, I'll check it out. I've been wary of. I'm trying to find things to do that don't involve screens because I'm on screens so much that.
Yep.
But I'm kind of tired of my iPad games and need something to pass the time besides worrying.
Oh yeah, no, you need to take the stress out a little bit. And
we went to. I made my family go. I made my family go to a park. We went to Whitetail Woods Regional Park, and I don't know, the Google Map directions are not right, but we got there, so that was and it's a newer park, so there isn't a lot going on yet, and it was really muddy, but it was nice to get out of the house and had about a half-hour drive there and back. Yeah,
nice.
Maybe not that far. A small road trip. And, did a little hiking. It was good to get out in the woods. Woods? What woods? Oh, no, nobody knows what that is. I think only 4 people to get that reference.
But it's the right ones.
Yeah. This one's for you, folks.
That's right. Well, that's good. You got to get a little fresh air and
fresh air on
else.
NPR. We have a nice. There's a Dodge Nature Center in West St. Paul. That's actually quite a large. For a little city, it's quite a large park, and
you have to drive a truck.
No, you could just walk
a Dodge truck.
Oh, no. That's what I could afford.
Sponsored by Dodge. Yeah, if you show up with a Ford, they don't let you in, or they charge you twice as much.
Ram tough. It's like a educational area. It used to be a huge farm, and they turned it into an educational center. And then a few years ago, they partnered with the grade school across the street called Garlow, and that's where my kids went, and had an environmental magnet kind of public school thing. So they'd go across the street quite a bit to learn how to build forts and start a fire, maybe. I don't know. Maybe they didn't teach them that in grade school, but that's not a good idea.
Maybe it's kind of like the Scouts without something.
Without the
without the Christianity part,
or the Den Masters, or whatever. What do they call those? The Dungeon Masters.
Well, so they have Scout Masters.
Scout Masters, yeah.
But in the earlier days, they had Den Mothers.
Well, when I was in the Cub Scouts, I was in the Cub Scouts just for one brief little thing. I was really young. One of my friends' moms talked my mom into being, what you just said, Den Mothers. And
it's like Earth Mother, but Den Mother. Yeah.
And I remember trying to learn how to tie these damn knots and stuff. I don't know. I was good at some things, but I got a few badges.
We don't have to show you any stinking badges.
Weren't you in?
Somebody had to.
Yeah, but not without without the accent, thankfully.
No, we don't do the accent anymore. That's not cool.
What were you in any of those?
The Treasure of the Sierra Madre has been redone with without cliched Mexican accents.
And it's been recolorized.
Sorry, what were you going to say? You were going to about your.
No, I was.
So you were in the Cub Scouts.
Were you in any of those things?
I was in the Cub Scouts and the tweener version, which is called the Weeblos.
Oh, the Weebles. Yeah, the Weeble Wobbles. You guys kept falling, but you couldn't
I'm
get back.
A dirty look from my wife here.
Oh? Ask her to say so good.
Hold on. What?
Phil doesn't know that shit about you, that you were in the Eagle Scouts.
She can't believe that you didn't know I was in the Scouts.
Yeah, but she just said Eagle Scout, so she doesn't know either.
She doesn't know. I've told her at least once that I did not become an Eagle Scout. I could probably make it up and claim that I did, though.
Why not?
What would that get you?
Who would care?
Sorry to interrupt. I'm just like, what the hell?
What the hell?
Don't put that in anything.
It was only because it wasn't loud enough.
Next time, my pretty.
Can you say it again a little louder with more feeling?
She left.
Okay, fine.
No,
she gave it
yes,
the eagle
I
eye.
was in the Scouts. And so was our good friend Eric. Eric actually did make Eagle Scout.
Oh,
I did not.
yeah.
I dropped out before.
He was too intense. He's mellowed out
For the
so many over the
Scouts?
years. No, I just remember him being really into that camping and planning and stuff.
No, Eric was very serious.
Yeah.
It is. He's still here.
No, but he's
just not in the Scouts anymore.
He's mellowed out. I mean, he's not.
Yeah, no, I did the Scouts for certainly into junior high. I think I dropped out or kind of gradually stopped going to things.
Well, by then you were hanging out more out the
Pool hall.
the pool hall. No, the
brass rail, yeah.
That's something totally different here.
Yeah, what is the brass rail here?
It's I think they used to call them gay
Is
bars.
that one of the gay? That's one of the gay bars in downtown Minneapolis,
Yeah,
right?
I think they still call it those that, don't they?
That and the
Well, the gay 90s.
yeah, the gay 90s is probably the most famous.
That one's a little more obvious. Well, they have gay right there.
Isn't it called the famous brass rail?
Oh, right.
Whereas Rapid Cities is just the brass rail because they can't get too fancy.
I didn't think it was a chain. A chain of gay bars throughout the country.
Yeah, that one in Rapid City did not seem very gay to me.
And nobody knows at that one. Well, they don't advertise it.
No.
Are there gay bars in Rapid City? I think there's one
of
in
our
Sioux
listeners
Falls.
that lives there might be able to tell us.
I think there's one in Sioux Falls. But I think it was kind of like invite only or something. But this was many years ago, and things have loosened.
I'm sure that's probably not true. No, invite. It's like a speakeasy.
I think it kind of was. Well, I think they were afraid they'd be, beat up or something. This was many years ago.
Yeah, so it's like those. So that place in the Downton Abbey movie.
Oh, I didn't know.
You don't watch that. Do
No.
You? Yeah, well, there's
Something like that.
And there's an illicit gay bar or club.
Yeah.
In the movie.
Oh, interesting.
That one of the characters discovers.
On accident?
He's invited there.
Oh, was he gay?
Yes.
Oh,
he is
okay.
gay.
Well, good. I'm glad he had a place to go, even back then.
No, it's actually a good storyline, but
I think it was illegal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. In fact, the spoiler alert.
Oh no, I'll never. Don't worry, I won't see it.
You're never gonna watch it. Don't worry about it. The cops bust it out and arrest everybody.
No.
Of course. I mean, this is in the 1930s, I think.
Sure.
So I don't know how it got it.
This sort of segues into my Roku purchase, believe it or not. I broke down and
Phil got a new. Go ahead, I'll let you.
Well, no, I don't normally buy new electronic equipment. I just wait till John's upgrades. But I had used John's old Fire Stick for many years, and it was probably old when he gave it to me. And so I got a Roku based on one of your recommendations. And but it has a Roku channel, which I didn't realize I was getting content out of the deal. But I don't know quite how it works, but there's some free stuff on there. And I was watching a British gardening show. I don't know what it's called.
You're so predictable.
It was a historical version, though, of... But there was a... I don't know. I don't remember anything about what I saw last night. Why am I trying to talk about this? Maybe the narrator will jump in. But one of the characters at one of the estates that was the gardener there, the family owned this house and had this garden, and the youngest child was struggling with his homosexuality and that kind of thing also, and so they talked about that a little bit.
It was an octopus's garden.
Well, kind of. Or not. I say, I don't know. This whole segment now could be cut out because I don't know what I'm talking about. I mean, not that stopped us.
99% of the show.
Not that stopped us before.
I'm including myself there, you realize.
But wouldn't it be nice if I knew the title of the show and the historical character that I'm trying to reference? Whatever.
Winston Churchill.
Oh, yeah. I've nothing to fear but a farm.
We have nothing to fear about the brass rail.
Yeah.
I'm Richard Nixon Churchill.
And Hiroshito.
That's a terrible.
You had a little of the other access in there. Well, that's
Oui.
Access and Allies. We're just free associating tonight, folks.
Okay.
It's free.
Yeah, the Scouts. I'll say one quick thing about the Scouts. I actually found it very worthwhile to have been in there. I had a lot of good times. I got to do a lot of camping, which is something my family was never into. So
that's true.
Except for my brother Bruce. Kind of later on, he would take Rob and myself out, and we do a little tenting, backpacking, that kind of stuff. But for the most part, I would not have gotten nearly as much outdoor Black Hills experience if it had not been for the Scouts.
Yeah, that's cool.
Did a lot of really cool stuff there. I still can't tie any knots.
Nazis.
I don't know how I ever got any of the knot-related merit badges, but I did, and then promptly forgot how to do them.
Yeah, you learned it just enough to get through it.
Yep, so that's a little bit of a flaw in their educational system, but it's okay. It was a valuable experience for me. I am sad that they've had so much trouble lately, bankruptcy and the scandals and everything else. And
yeah.
I hope they figure out a way to rebuild and, kind of make it a little more inclusive and...
Yeah, just call it the Scouts.
Figure out their issues.
It's just the Scouts now, right? Or something? They don't have to have a gender related, do they?
They still have Girl Scouts, though.
Yeah, and they don't want to have their own separate one.
Somehow they've managed to avoid a lot of the scandal. Although I think they had the rivalry with the Campfire Girls and the Girl Scouts, right?
Boy, I don't know.
Like one was more right wing, one was more left wing.
Oh, I missed that one.
I might be really wrong about that.
I missed that one.
They had a bit of a rivalry. But
well,
it's really hard to top the cookies, though.
That's true. Some people don't want like kids of different genders camping together or whatever, but they could figure it out. They could have different areas or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure they can, and I'm hoping they find a way to restructure, fix the issues, and because if the Boy Scouts are what I'm not really talking about the Girl Scouts here, but if the Boy Scouts as a group were to go away completely, it would be a loss.
Yeah.
There was a lot of good there, I thought, and I'm sure Eric would agree with me on that. And so would Rob, if he's listening. He's desperately trying to figure out how to teach his classes online at this point. But
yeah, guess who's coming to episode 38? It's spoiler alert, Rob. Hello, Rob.
But yes, that's kind of what I'll say about them.
Well, I just remember my mom was, she did not like being a den mother. I don't know what the word. What's the adjective I'm looking for? Anxious maybe about doing it wrong or something. I don't know. But it wasn't the best experience. But I don't think I would have liked it anyway. But maybe if I would have gotten up farther, like where you were at, where you were doing more of that kind of stuff, we were just, in the kitchen doing knots. It felt like all the time. But I'm sure that's all I remember.
I think part of the thing that made my experience better is that they weren't all just going to somebody's house and wasting time doing stuff. I felt there was just enough actual activity, and then once you actually got into the regular Boy Scout troop, you would have a meeting place every, I don't know, was it every week? I totally forget, but a regular meeting time because so many of them are affiliated with churches, it was at a church. But you'd meet there and you'd have a routine, and you'd have it'd almost be like going to a work meeting. They probably had agendas and things like that. You'd have a little flag ceremony and all that stuff. And I think I think for a lot of kids it was worthwhile that you kind of got some kind of values out of it.
Yes,
that were actually very good. It's not. I mean, yes, you can say, they're trying to make everybody into Christians and blah blah blah. But
it was a little lighter on that from what I remember. But
and really mine was not bad at all. And the guys who ran the troops that I was in, actually it was one troop, good old troop number 4. Must have been one of the first ones ever made or something.
I don't remember my number.
Really, I remember them all being pretty cool, pretty nice guys, and they had I think they all had their sons in the Scouts at certain points, and I don't know. I had good experience with it. I never heard about any bad stuff.
Right.
So yeah. Well,
I know another Facebook friend of mine, but I've been in school with him forever. He's a 2L Philip. I give him crap, but he's been in the Cub Scouts there. Or Cub Scouts. He's been in the Cub Scouts since
Phil Benjamin Button.
His name's Philip, and he's been heavily involved with the Scouts for many years. So yeah, good for him.
Well, that was unexpected. So once again, we're recording on the same day we uploaded our most recent episode.
This is sort of becoming a tradition.
That's a lot of pressure on me.
Well, 2 times is not a trend. I had to tell a former boss that several times, but we won't get into work. Yeah, I guess it's just a coincidence. But for our listeners, we're usually a couple weeks behind, so we're actually recording this on March 23rd. So in a couple of weeks, when it comes out, a lot may have happened, and this may seem like a weird episode because why are they only talking about that? Why aren't they talking about? But I think our listeners get it. Yeah. Well, we can only talk about that so much.
Our last one, of course, we definitely mentioned the virus, and at that time it was still a little bit abstract for us.
Sure.
Stuff hadn't really been shut down, and ever since then, in between now, it's an interesting little time capsule. But since then, a lot of stuff has been shut down. Most of my coworkers are remote working. All of my gigs and concerts have been canceled probably into the summer.
Yeah.
Hopefully not much beyond that. And we're all just kind of
hunkered down.
Trying to stay home. I'm not staying home as much as I should. Although mainly because I'm one of the few people that's actually going to my place of work.
Yeah.
To keep things running, and otherwise, we're just being really careful. Just hoping we can get this figured out.
Flatten the curve. I'm afraid that flattening the curve may fatten my curves, but that's all right.
Well, you just do more nature hikes.
Yeah, I'm trying, but I eat a lot more comfort food.
This laugh is too long.
That's the thing. And I definitely drink more.
Yeah.
When I'm not out of the house in the evenings and stuff like that, which is long term not a great thing, but for right now, it's fine.
Well, right. Well, and I picked. Oh no, I picked kind of a weird time to get back in touch with my extrovert roots.
Yeah.
Well, no, I just over the past few months I've been trying to get out more, or maybe it's been a couple years really. I was kind of, I don't know, homeschooling myself. No, but it's like, okay, now I can't really go anywhere. So.
Were you about to start a world tour or something?
No,
now
yeah, that's what I'll say.
Why not? Yeah, of course,
the Phil
eventually
Hunter tour.
Somebody's going to say, "What happened to your tour?"
That was canceled indefinitely. So, well, I have 36 songs now with the podcast. We could go on tour with that, but we'll have to do a virtual tour.
A 3-hour tour.
That might be about 3 hours.
Yeah. And so you enjoyed your Roku streaming stick.
Yeah, I've just started. My oldest daughter is into Attack on Titans, so she's really been wanting me to get caught up with her, and I'm not anywhere near that. But I did watch a couple more last night, so I'm getting there. And it's a lot. Well, like I said, I had a really old Fire Stick. It probably had like 1K or something. I don't know, or 1 meg. No.
I think it was kind of slow even when I gave it to you. That was literally years ago.
Al, I milked that thing along.
It's pretty amazing you can get something that capable for $40.
Well, yeah,
that does all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot smoother, that's for sure. So I like it.
I mean, obviously I'm into this stuff a lot, so you have a lot of opinions.
You have an Apple TV though, don't you?
So I actually have I have a Roku built into my downstairs TV,
right?
Which I use. It's probably very similar to what you have on the stick. I also have a Generation 4 Apple TV, which is now actually it's probably 3-4 years old.
Oh no, you better get an Apple 5.
I'm actually waiting for the next version to come out.
Civ Apple 6 crossover.
Oh, that's right. Extreme. My big thing about those streaming devices is they all have flaws.
Yeah.
In my opinion, and we'll make a mini topic out of this.
Sure.
Okay, so the Roku, which is what a lot of people buy, they're generally very solid, and what the advantages of them are, they are generally an agnostic service, so they're not associated with any of the content providers, like Amazon or Apple or Netflix or whatever. So they don't tend to favor one or the other, and they generally always have all the different services available. So for example, Amazon and Google have a lot of fights.
Yeah.
Over stuff, and so at a certain point, YouTube will not work on the Amazon Fire Stick.
Yeah.
Things like that. Because their mommy and daddy are fighting.
So it's like the Linux.
A little bit, yeah. The thing that's not Linux about them is that Roku doesn't actually make any money on their hardware.
Okay.
They sell it either at cost or at a loss or something, and there's a reason it costs $40 or sometimes less. And so what they do is they sell advertising.
Yeah, I've gotten some ads on different things, but
yep. So they put ads on the home screens, and they also do a fair amount of tracking on what people are watching. Not specific shows, but they'll say, here's how many hours Phil spent watching PBS Passport or something like that. And they'll sell that to advertisers because they want more data. So that's kind of how they make their money.
Sure.
And that's actually how most TV producers make money. TV meaning TV hardware. So if you buy a Vizio TV, for example, they're one of the big brands now.
Yeah.
They actually sell their TVs at next to no margin at all.
Wow.
The reason they can do that is because they're all smart TVs and they all have this tracking in them.
Strange.
And they sell they kind of count on everybody connecting them to the internet, and they sell the data.
Yep.
And so that's the disadvantage. If you don't care about that and you don't mind the occasional ad and stuff like that, then they're a great deal. as long as you know what you're getting.
Right.
And Amazon, of course, is also really cheap, and they probably don't make money on their stuff either, but they tend to favor their own services.
Oh, yeah, they push you.
So that's another thing. That's the disadvantage there. Apple doesn't tend to do that. They're very good. They don't really, as far as I know, they don't sell your data. They don't put ads on the home screens and all that stuff like they try and do. They're better about your privacy.
But you pay a little more.
But you pay a lot more. So, for example, the Roku stick that Phil just bought is $50 regular price. I'll just say regular price. Same price.
I saved $10, John.
The Apple TV, the current version, is about $180. So it's a big difference. And now, to be fair, the Apple TV has some features that the Roku does not. But if you're just going to watch TV on it, they're really about the same.
Yeah.
You're paying quite a bit more for that, or it has some little odds and ends that are kind of nice if you're into, say, different audio options or frame rates, things like that, nerds are into. The Apple TV is nicer hardware, but it's not that much nicer.
Sure.
So you're really paying a lot extra for the privilege of not having Roku sell your data.
Yeah. All right.
And that's a choice everybody has to make for themselves. And I've been very torn about that because I really like the idea that my Apple TV doesn't do that. But on the other hand, I bought a second TV for the downstairs, and it has the Roku built in, and I can just use it without shelling out $180.
No, I get it.
And so that's the tough part.
The old Blu-ray player I bought had some kind of thing built in too, but I don't know what.
Oh, yeah. All the DVD and Blu-ray players that have internet access also have those apps built into them.
Yeah.
They pretty much put it on anything that has an internet connection. I'm guessing that. So our good friend Matthew P.
Hi,
he
Matt.
He has an internet-connected fridge.
Right.
With a big screen on the door.
Sure.
You can probably watch Netflix on that, too.
While you're trying to figure out what to eat?
I don't think he does, but, I mean, it's really just a little Android
Wait,
but tablet built into your fridge.
I get that it helps you, it helps you figure out your shopping list, but I'm guessing you could get recipes on it, too, right?
Oh, yeah, recipes you can put. I think his has a little.
That would be handy.
Little message board. You can leave people notes on it, and it puts the weather and plays music and all that stuff. And it has some features that some might find useful.
Can you talk to it and say, "Boy, I'd like a glass of water right now"? And no,
I'm sure it's coming soon.
I suppose you could tell it. Can you tell it to make sure the it's freezing in the back over there. My LaCroix froze. I have a much older refrigerator. My LaCroix froze. Can you fix that? But maybe it wouldn't do that. It wouldn't freeze.
Yeah, I don't know how much control it has over the actual fridge, which you think would be the thing you'd want the most.
It's like disconnected.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, how many things can you tell your fridge?
The thing that's funny about it, of course, is that it has this big screen on one of the doors. It's one of those split door ones, like most of them are now. If you can do a thing where it has a camera built into the inside, and you can look inside of your fridge on the screen
without opening it.
Yeah.
Oh, right. That's like the old school dad kind of thing. That would be. Why are you standing there with the fridge open?
Yep. So you can look in there.
Oh, it's perfect. It's an old school dad app.
So some of it, I can get behind, and some of it is like, oh, come on.
So really what you need, though, is to say, hey, fridge, I want you to thaw out the pork butt, and I want you to send it over to the grill, and it goes on a little conveyor belt, and the smoker. And then, okay, smoker, I want it at 200 degrees for 16 days, and it's going to be nice and tender. And then you don't even have to even touch the meat anymore. And it will just show up. No, it could order it. And a little drone could fly the pork butt into your house and drop it through the top of the fridge.
Holy shit. that kind of puts in my head the idea. So you remember a number of years ago there was this story about these nuclear centrifuges in Iran.
Well,
and they got really screwed up because some, I think, American hackers wrote this thing where it introduced this computer virus in there that basically destroyed the centrifuges.
without blowing them up.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, they didn't have to drop bombs on them, but they got in here.
Oh, that sounds kind of familiar, but I don't remember.
And so you could almost see this conveyor belt pork butt system you've got going. If it got hacked, it would, when the drone would drop the raw meat on your head or something like that. That you could see so many ways that could go horribly wrong.
Who wants a pork butt on their head?
No. So speaking of pork butts,
Yeah, there we go. Because you got the smoker.
so I got my pellet grill smoker.
What kind of pellets did you get though?
So the one I got is from Rectech, which is what Paul S. really endorsed. So I went with that. It's a little smaller, but it does the job. I actually just got the blended pellets at Costco.
I think that was what Paul was getting to.
Yeah, I think and a lot of people I've talked to really like the hickory ones.
I would tend to think I would like that.
Yeah, and I was just, it was easier to just get them there. So this
Yeah.
I think is hickory.
Hickory dickory dock.
Cedar?
What?
No.
I
Apple.
Apple is apple and cherry or something.
Oh yeah.
Like that,
Gosh, those are good woods.
So
yeah,
it's a combination of that.
not
And
cedar.
it really made a good smoked pork butt.
That's probably a good blend.
But
you only did half
it took
a butt.
10 hours.
But you only did half a butt.
Right, so I bought one at Costco. This episode is brought to you by Costco.
And Roku. So what did you just take? Like you have the two cheeks there, and you just take one of the cheeks and
The cheeks, yeah. Well, they also call it a shoulder.
a pork butt is also the shoulder. That can't be right.
This actually said pork shoulder butt.
Was it BUT ... It's a pork.
No, it's BUTT.
It's a pork shoulder, but we don't know where we got it. It might be a pig.
Yeah,
It might not be a
apparently
pig.
I need to do some more research on this, but this one was like 15 pounds.
Oh my God.
When I bought it, I thought, oh, this looks fine. It'll fit. And then I start looking after I buy it, of course,
Yeah.
that it takes like an hour and a half to 2 hours per pound
Yeah, sure.
to cook one of these at the 200 degree or 250 that you do.
That's
And
an overnighter.
This is gonna take 20 hours or something like that. So no. So I cut it in
Wow.
half and
Sure.
froze the other half. And even that took about 10 hours.
Sure. But all good things
So-
are worth the wait.
It really came out well. Yeah, once I had it set up, it just kind of ran. I don't even think I had to put more pellets in it, and tasted great.
Well, you
So-
said next time you might keep the foil on a little longer. What was that
well,
about?
the only problem I had is that I did it uncovered for quite a bit of the time, and at a certain temperature, you're supposed to cover it, and I think it got a little too dry on the outside.
Sure.
So the outside of it, you do on this thing. It gets nice. The rub and the outside gets this what they call a bark on the outside of it, and it's almost a beef jerky texture, crust.
So you had kind of a butt bark.
It was a bark. There's our title. And it got a little too dry and tough. I'm going to experiment a little bit and cover it a little bit sooner. People have all sorts of ideas.
Oh,
about
there's
how to
tricks
do
even with that
these.
thing.
You put it in a like a roasting pan, like a foil roasting pan with apple cider in the bottom of
sure,
it, and that
sure.
gives off steam. And there's all, but you can also overdo it, and the thing gets soggy. So
you
because
don't-
that bark can be really tasty.
No soggy bottoms.
No soggy bottoms on the butt. No.
Bark butt.
Yeah, it was good though. I'm looking forward to trying some fish and some other things.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because it wasn't
I didn't think of fish.
super smoky.
Smoked salmon.
Yep, salmon's the obvious choice. You can do
Carp.
a long smoke. I got some Asian carp.
Well, we need to eat that because they're taking over.
They are taking over. Yeah,
And you can eat them. But I think you need to smoke them probably.
people do eat them.
Smoke them if you got them, folks.
Yeah. So yeah, so far so good. That's been really nice. And again, it's another one of these things that I have more time at home. So it's a good combination.
Time at home. That's our new show.
We're at home. I have some time.
We always record from our own houses.
Yeah.
Some
I
people
know.
think we're in the same room. I don't know.
Well, that's good. It's a compliment.
I think we dispelled that myth episodes ago, but they might have missed that one.
No, it's okay.
I think we accidentally got some. Or that's not true. But we accidentally got some newer listeners recently too. But
They'll correct that mistake soon.
yeah, right. They're gone now. No. Well, so so Rapid City news, but maybe we're done. But what? Tonight in Rapid City, or South Dakota, I think the governor said they were going to close the restaurants in a week.
In a week.
So they're like giving people like all the
Oh,
time.
is that the thing until Friday or whatever?
Well, maybe it's not a whole week, but it's like, well, don't.
Somebody mentioned that it was something about Friday. Don't wait till Friday to stay home, I think was the comment.
Well, I think it was your brother Rob. But cause see, I don't know.
Wait, aren't the restaurants closed anyway though, or are they sort of open?
I don't know what's going on.
Or honor system. I don't know. I mean, Wisconsin has shut everything down, I think.
I don't know what the difference is between stay at home, which is where we're at, and the shelter in place. I think it's just a little more legal oomph, but I don't know. I honestly don't know the difference. I could have researched that.
Well, and so for right now, it's the restaurant and bar thing is definitely from the governor, but other things are open. So like the place I work is open.
Yeah.
A lot of people are not there, but we're still technically we have students on campus.
Well, the University of Minnesota though is gone even a little bit hardliner with that kind of thing. I've been telecommuting, even though I'm an operations guy and I'm used to reacting to things and being in the field and stuff. And I have a lot of folders I can organize and files, but policies I can rewrite. My wife is a massage therapist, and she actually, I think her boss gave her a few days pay, but as of, I think starting on Monday now, she'll be laid off. So she's right now probably filling out the unemployment insurance applications and all that. And you get 50% of your income, but it's still.
Yeah, hopefully they're going to come up with something good for people in those professions to keep them above water.
Yeah, they're not. Well, yeah, all these servers and stuff. Oh my God, the
a
bartenders.
huge number of people.
Even with places that have takeout, I mean, you can't like. Yeah, can I have a takeout martini, please?
Wrong.
Yeah, it's like a few nights ago, I went and got takeout from a local restaurant, and I went in to pick it up, and it was it's a couple that run it, and they were the only ones there. The husband was cooking and she was doing the orders, and they obviously had no other staff on hand.
They're not getting enough business to have the other staff.
No,
or it's not safe for them.
So that's pretty sobering, actually.
No, anytime I go anywhere, it's like I went to bad weather, and usually that place is completely full. on a weekend, and it's nobody there, just 3 people there. But they're switching all these. They're making as many crowlers as they can, and you go in and you pick your crowlers out of the fridge. But it's sobering, surreal. I don't know. I don't like it, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, no. I think we all have to try and keep working on it until things calm down.
But how long is this gonna be? My God.
Yeah, it could be longer than we all think. I hope it's not. But
I've heard different estimates. End of summer, some are saying. Oh my God, I can't telecommute that long. I'll go crazy. My family and I have 2 younger kids that are going to start. They're got an extended spring break kind of thing going on, but they'll be all online pretty soon here. So I work upstairs in where I record the podcast, a little office studio where I record music and stuff. And my wife is currently laid off, so she's doing more of the household things, but also she'll probably have to switch to kind of helping the kids keep on task with their online school. It's odd. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of adjustment there for kids who have to try and figure out how to navigate this, and it's not easy for the parents, that's for sure.
I mean, my kids are pretty introverted, but they do get some aspect of school that they like, going to school, get to see their friends and stuff like that, and I guess they text each other every now and then, but it's just not the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like even with work, I started this happy half hour. And it seems to be getting more and more people joining. I don't know how to do a Zoom. I know how to do a Zoom. But how do you, if there's like 300 people, this won't be that much ever. I should charge admission.
How do you drink over Zoom? Oh.
Well, after I came up with the idea, I was reading in Japan, this online drinking clubs. It's a thing.
Yeah.
So I did the first one. It was kind of a test, and we had 6 people. But I wonder, because now I think on the next one, I think it's going to grow every week. So I'm just wondering how to manage because even on a podcast, if it's just you and I, we have kind of we can feel each other out. And we don't interrupt each other too much. But if you have a third person and they're not used to that, and then it's just a different dynamic. And 6 people. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it's hard. You really do need somebody moderating. And then a lot of people just keep their mics muted and things like that until you have to come up with a system.
Right.
Otherwise, it just gets so chaotic. So the other night, my family and I had a group FaceTime.
Yeah, I'm thinking to do that with my family.
Together. Yeah. And
I don't have
it was
as large
really fun
of a family.
to see everybody sort of and all that, but it got so chaotic. Everybody talking at once and just people throwing things in and out, and it was just
I find that hard to believe with your family.
It was actually very similar to being with them in person. So I kind of felt like I was there.
It kind of reminds me of going to dinner or one of the parties over there.
Yep, it was kind of like that, as people
orchestra.
shouting stuff out, and people do crazy things. And
I'm sure it was fun though.
No, it was great to see everybody on camera and everything. I found it much better to do it on my laptop with a bigger screen than I think they were doing it on their phones, and it's probably really hard to see what other people are doing.
Right. Yeah. Well, because I've been bringing my work laptop home just in case, and sure enough, I got the call to stay home. But
no, good idea. Yeah.
But yeah, so you can see more people. Yeah.
It does help. Yeah, if you can do that, and then just people get used to it and become more considerate of the dynamic. So I think that will improve.
Oh, see, that's the thing. We got to get used to this. Isn't that weird? This is a new normal, as my manager Sarah says, with different things in the past. Whenever we've gone through change,
if I had $1 for every time I've heard that.
Well, change management is like, oh, this is the new normal. But it's kind of I'm not impersonating her voice. She doesn't sound like that.
Sounds like Marge Simpson. So we've been watching like
Yeah.
everybody else. We're watching lots of TV, but we finally got around to watching Parks and Recreation.
See, now, I find that a little odd that you never watched it.
No, we never got into it.
It isn't unusual that I didn't, but I know enough about it to kind of get it. But so you started that now.
We're into second season, I think, and it's a very funny show. I mean, everybody knows about it. It doesn't really need my recommendation. But,
It's a little old.
yeah, no, it's definitely not recent at all. But
John recommends Parks and
my
Recreation.
only, it's a little too close to The Office in its style. Sometimes I wish they'd been a little bit different.
Is that fake documentary kind of thing?
Yeah, there's a little bit of that. They're a little more subtle about it, and maybe they'll eventually drop it. But but of course it's one of the two people that did The American Office that did this show as well.
Sure.
But the other person behind the show is Michael Schur, who he did a lot of stuff, but recently he did The Good Place.
Oh.
And he's a producer and writer on Parks and Rec. I think that's where he got successful. And
sure.
It's actually a really good show. It's gotten better, and if you've never checked it out, it's really good and very funny.
Oh, I love Nick Offerman or whatever his
Yeah,
name is.
he is, and he gets. I'd seen bits and pieces of his stuff.
Oh,
before,
yeah.
but he actually, his character gets a lot better, or they figured out how to write for him better.
Okay.
And he's had some great episodes recently. I've been, again, this is old news, but we both really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. And Amy Poehler is great too.
Well, right. Well, we toyed around with the idea of getting...
Lots of things.
We toyed around with the idea of restarting Netflix. And I think The Good Place was on there at that time.
It is.
Is it still?
It still is. Yep. Still highly recommended. So is Parks and Rec, at least for now. And they're super easy to watch because they're like 18 minutes each or something.
I don't have anything to recommend. I'll have to recommend Attack on Titans for my oldest daughter. That's what.
Oh, on Titans.
The first few episodes are a lot of screaming. It's just people talking, and they're so intense. It's like, I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to go get that sandwich. And they're like, oh, that sandwich is over there. It's
Kabuki anime.
No, it's crazy. It's just, but I'm kind of making fun of it. But it's
devoted to sandwiches, though.
They had nothing to do with sandwiches.
Oh, now you kind of had me interested, but now I don't know.
Well, who doesn't like a good sandwich?
Right, I know. I would like a Japanese animated sandwich
show
series.
There probably is one. What's your favorite sandwich before we quit? Oh, mind blown.
I love a good meatball, but that almost doesn't count.
We can count it. I don't care. No rules apply now. We're in a pandemic.
How about a Cuban?
Oh, really?
I really like a
so,
Cuban.
okay. To somebody might not know what a Cuban is. It's like, all right. Okay. What is it?
It's got usually some kind of roast pork.
Roast pork, yeah.
Porky. Pork and ham, pickles and mustard, and Swiss cheese, I think.
So, right. So it's got smoked pork, but that's not enough pig. You got to put some ham on there.
There's a lot of pork on it, yeah.
And then some bacon? No.
No bacon. No, I don't love bacon on sandwiches. Sometimes,
all right.
but
no,
not as much.
One of my favorite sandwiches is the Turkey Club, which has bacon.
Okay.
What's my favorite sandwich? I don't even know. There's a place called Cecil's over there in Minneapolis, and St. Paul. Sorry, St. Paul. And they have, I like that's that kind of deli stuff. I love.
So they do a good Reuben.
Pastrami and man.
Actually, pastrami is really fucking good too.
Oh, I love pastrami.
Yeah, I that's a hard one.
Hard meatballs. No,
I miss Chris Matthews a little bit.
Yeah.
During all this news coverage, I'm watching more news because
I'm trying not to. I mean, I've been watching the governors. We have a good governor here, Governor Tim Walz.
Good governor.
God bless him. We have a governor who was in the National Guard and is a good leader. And even though we're not getting a lot of national anything, he's really mobilizing things. And I'm very thankful that we have a good governor. And I guess he's in whatever they call it.
He's in quarantine, right?
For 14 days, his bodyguard was tested positive for COVID. So
yeah. Well, I hope he's okay.
He's leading by example and just saying, "Hey, I'm gonna," but he can work from home, I guess.
I'm sure he can.
That's gonna be weird if he has a teleconference update. I don't know. We're all gonna be on Zoom. Who owns Zoom?
Yeah, they're making out really well.
Who owns that? I never heard of Zoom until like last year.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody's Zooming. We're on Skype, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't. They're just their own company. I think they were probably a startup, and
they're doing okay.
They're one of the biggest ones in the world right now.
I'm pretty sure they started this.
It's a conspiracy.
Well, there's enough conspiracies going around. I don't need to start a new one.
No. It's
the Democrats started this.
Follow up on our Mitt Romney discussion a few weeks ago, and whatever. And you heard that he's quarantining because he was around somebody that tested positive.
Okay.
And as far as I know, he doesn't have it or anything. Hopefully,
yeah.
But somebody in a press briefing recently mentioned that, and Trump is like, "Oh, Romney had to do that? Well, that's too bad."
Yeah, what a dick.
God,
he's such a dick. And what's this? He's like these. Oh, we're getting political again. Yeah, but he we can't end on this. But these press conferences, he needs to get the hell off those things.
I really shut the fuck up.
He could say a little thing and then leave and let the experts talk. But answering questions and that's a nasty question. You're nasty and filthy, and he's just terrible. He's not helping.
Yeah, no. Let the experts go, and so
go home.
I don't know, man. Yeah, so
he should be self-quarantined. He was exposed.
I don't know.
We'll edit that out.
Yeah, let's just edit that whole last part out. I want to thank Sean for lending me his Marx Brothers Blu-rays.
Oh man. Classics.
Those things, they look a lot better than the DVDs I had.
Oh, really? Oh, I look forward to seeing them. I'll have to come over and watch one with eat some pork butt.
Yeah, we'll hermaphroditically seal the room.
I don't know. Maybe we can't visit for a while, but...
No, but thank you, Sean. They look better than I thought they were going to, so that's nice.
They look better than they did back then.
Well, I don't know about that, but... I just realized now these are the early Marx Brothers movies. Starting with the Coconuts, which is the first one. I think it's 1929, which is almost 100 years ago.
Oh my God!
I mean that still doesn't seem like it's that old of a show, but it's it does look very, very old even for an old black and white movie.
Yeah,
they have these little dancing girls in bellhop uniforms and stuff.
Oh, well, that's all right.
It's definitely stagey and all that stuff. But the thing that's interesting about it is that the Marx Brothers themselves are actually pretty much like they are in the other movies.
Yeah.
There's just this fluff around them, and Groucho's routines are not quite as sharp and edgy as the later ones are, but really they're doing... Their act is pretty much the same.
Well, they did it for years before they filmed them.
Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting to remember that they started making their movies with their routines and performing styles pretty much done.
Yeah, all set.
Yeah. So just that they finally, by the time they got to the pinnacle, which is probably Duck Soup, they made the movie to respect the strength of the performances.
Sure.
Which that's why that one is considered best. It eliminates most of the dumb love plot and other things that are really pretty
Poor
bad in most
Zeppo.
of the other movies. Or Zeppo's gone too. Sorry, Zeppo, but Zeppo is barely in the Coconuts. He has like 2 scenes, and then he's at the end and he smiles for the camera, and that's
I
like
think
it.
I think Groucho Marx once said that Zeppo was actually the funniest of them all. But
In real life, yes, I believe he said that a number of times, and that's so funny because he always got stuck playing these kind of limp noodle roles. And all he does in the Coconuts, he just hangs out and gets berated by Groucho as being kind of, "Hey, you're fired. Get out of here." But the train is coming in, Mr. Blah, blah, blah.
I know.
Just-
they never quite knew what to do with him.
No, and they in a couple of movies, he's more of a almost the straight romantic lead thing. And he's
sure.
not great at that either, but it's fascinating to see that.
He had something to do. I'll give poor Zeppo.
And I think Zeppo, whatever his real name was, kind of after a while just left and went and made a new career or did something else. So
Yeah, what did he do?
good for him.
What did he do after that? Producing?
Yeah, something like, or he was an agent or something like that.
Oh,
No,
sure.
that's one of the other brothers. I forget, but
He was a lobbyist.
you can look it up. He was a lobbyist. He represented the corn industry.
Corn.
Yeah, that's a joke they do on Parks and Rec a lot. Is the major employer in the town in Indiana where it takes place is a high fructose corn syrup producer.
Sweet.
They have a lot of fun with that. Yeah, the company's called Sweetums. And of course, the Nick Offerman stuff is great because he's always drinking scotch.
He is so good. Well, there's the Nick Offerman scotch, I think. out there.
Yeah, it's a Lagavulin.
Oh, yeah.
He
There
has
you
his
go.
own, he finally got his own version of Lagavulin, which must have been the biggest kick.
Oh, yeah. He's really
So.
cool with the woodworking stuff, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
fine.
I didn't know he did that in real life.
No, he does. Oh,
Because
does he do it on the show?
In one episode on the show, he carves a whole canoe.
Well, I don't know which came first, but he
okay.
actually does woodworking, and I wonder if they added that in as a character thing because he does actually did
I'll
it.
bet they did. Yeah, it's obviously written for him. So
Yeah, fine.
good. So we ended on something. Not
We ended on
COVID
something.
or Trump or. All right. Well,
We ended on
everybody,
woodworking.
Do
Everybody,
some woodworking.
work your wood.
Oh,
Hell, you have more time at home, and heck, even
that's right.
and at some point, even our wives will start social distancing. So, what are you going to do?
What are you gonna do?
What do you want? No, okay.
We didn't even take a break, so
Oh,
I think
God.
we'll take a permanent break.
No, don't say that.
No,
God, this was the last episode.
we're never heard from again.
Phil became an agent, and John became a lobbyist. All right.
The next movie I'm going to rip off of my Western collection here is called Decision at Sundown. So I think that's the right thing to end on.
Okay, fine. I want to see that. Good night, John.
Someday. It doesn't have sandwiches or Japanese stuff in it. And it's not a cartoon.
But this is kind of is.
Sad.
Somebody do an animated version of our podcast. All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Here's the song!
Old wood is good. Old wood is good. Old wood is good. Wood just don't burn like it should, but it's still good wood. Would it take off the chill if you will let it into your earth? It's worth its girth in gold, but it's old wood. Still